Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2. We're going to be talking about the 4 dramatic goals, the red card, and of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold being booed as well. It was a juicy game. It was an exciting game. It's a shame it's not a kind of game where Arsenal challenging for the title. Ultimately, it was a game where we saw a lot of quality from Liverpool, particularly in the first 20 minutes. And of course, 2 goals from Arsenal right at the end, but Liverpool could have won it as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold got booed. That is the talking point. Liverpool wrapped up the title. They're a good 20 points clear of Arsenal or potentially Newcastle, who could overtake them as well. We'll talk about that at the end. But ultimately, Liverpool saw their star right back coming on and getting booed. It's a really, really tricky situation. Firstly, if you're a Liverpool paying customer, a season ticket holder, you've been watching Liverpool for one day or for 20 years, you have an opinion about Trent Alexander-Arnold and you're entitled to express it, certainly in the stadium. So I don't think they're going to get many people criticising the booing in the stadium, because ultimately it is your form of expression, a live football match. You've paid probably a lot of money for certain sections of the stadium. Season ticket holders, loyalty throughout decades of time. If there's a lot of Liverpool fans booing Trent, they are justifiably unhappy about this situation. And I can see why, 1,000,000%. This isn't Trent going to Saudi Arabia. This isn't Trent retiring. This isn't Trent at 35. This isn't Steven Gerrard going to LA Galaxy, for example. This is obviously, Torres going to Chelsea, levels of bad, in my opinion. And it's hard because he's from Liverpool. It's not like Torres coming from Atletico Madrid, going to Chelsea, going back to Spain later in his career. This is Trent, who's obviously a homegrown player, going to Real Madrid in his prime years, choosing to turn down an offer from Liverpool, choosing to walk away from success potentially next season and in future years at Liverpool Football Club. It's not just playing for a random club, it's playing for a club that Liverpool basically compete with every season in the Champions League. They usually play each other in the group stages, in the latter rounds, in multiple finals in the last 10 years, under Jurgen Klopp, of course. And he could be playing against them in a white kit at Anfield as early as, August, September, when the Champions League starts up again. And I think the situation has really aggravated Liverpool fans, and we've actually seen it. It was really dramatic watching it at the time. I just think I don't think I've ever seen Liverpool fans booing their own player coming on, and it is a testament to how dramatic this situation has become. I think it's gone on far too long. I don't think he could have announced it any earlier, but is there a world where he doesn't even announce it until the end of the season, particularly with no World Cup coming up, particularly with no Euros, maybe FSG in the future if this situation ever comes up again? It happens a lot in football. Players want to leave football clubs all the time, whether it's for right or for wrong. Could they have left it until the end of the season to not have any bad will, particularly at Anfield, when it's summer and it's a beautiful season for Liverpool? Is there any angle where you can leave this a little bit later? Because ultimately, there was some bad will in the stadium, and you could even argue that the Moreno goal was he was getting played onside by Trent Alexander-Arnold as well, which isn't ideal if you look at the automated offside call or onside call, which we'll talk about in a minute. It was a really interesting game. I thought Liverpool showed so much quality. I think when Diaz plays with Gakpo, it's not just about Salah, because Salah makes everyone better. But when Diaz plays with Gakpo, I think he's so much better. He's got so much more space to run into. I think Gakpo plays the right ball at the right time. He's cultured like Salah. He's not the same quality as Mohamed Salah for obvious reasons. But I think Liverpool without Cody Gakpo this season have really struggled. They're not as silky. They're not as smooth. And obviously scored a big goal today as well. But I think Diaz actually is complemented massively when Gakpo is playing on the left. I thought Ben White in the first 20 minutes struggled a little bit. Odegaard as well. The space in behind that right-hand side of the midfield for Arsenal today really, really open. And even Saliba, you look at the Gakpo header. Beautiful ball in from Andy Robertson, who I thought was absolutely fantastic today. The ball was great, perfect height for him. It's a beautiful header from Cody Gakpo as well, near post, which isn't easy. But the space between Ben White and Saliba, these guys were sleepwalking in the first 20 minutes. And it's understandable, a dramatic and really flat end to not getting knocked out of the Champions League by PSG. But it was a dramatic Champions League run for Arsenal. They must be devastated, the Arsenal players. We'll talk about Arsenal in a minute. But it was a beautiful strike from Cody Gakpo, great header as well. Then a minute later, Arsenal could have conceded 3 or 4 goals. I think there was a big moment from Curtis Jones. He whips a ball into Mohamed Salah, plays it into Diaz, who should be doing a lot better. Could be 2 or 3-0 in the first 20 minutes. Arsenal are actually pretty lucky to leave with a point based on how poor they were at the start of the game. Because Liverpool can score 4 or 5 against you, really. And maybe if they were going for, to really seal the Premier League title, it could have been 4 or 5-0. The fact they've won the Premier League so early is a testament to themselves and how good they've been this season. But Luis Diaz finishes it off. Mohamed Salah plays a beautiful ball into Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai all game stretching the midfield, making lung-busting runs. He does it very, very well. I think Liverpool need an extra man in midfield. They need an option, a bit more of a silky kind of, what Klopp was trying to do with Thiago Alcantara, kind of a bit more of a silky playmaker type. I think Liverpool do need that. I think Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberch, that rotation throughout this season, I still think Liverpool need a little bit more in that midfield department, in my honest opinion. But Szoboszlai gets onto that ball, plays it into Diaz, and it could have, as I'm saying, it could have been 2-3, 4-0 to Liverpool. The first 20 minutes, they were absolutely exquisite today. You have to give Arsenal massive, massive credit. They get back into the game. A beautiful deft header from Martinelli gets them back into the game in the second half early as well. And you have to say, at Anfield, you've just been smashed by PSG, and the pressure's on. And Liverpool fans want to see their side put in a big performance. There's nothing to play for, basically, for both sides. To get back into the game, absolutely outrageous. Moreno is played on from Trent and Konate, to be fair to Trent, both playing him on. Automated offsides, they're working the charm. I'm not a fan of any technology in football to this level, of course, if you followed the channel for long enough. But ultimately, the call was about right. I'd prefer the linesman just to be able to get it spot on, and there'd be no semblance of a check. I don't think everything needs a check, but there we are. It did get it spot on, and it felt a lot quicker when I was watching the game. It's a really ingenious little header from Moreno. He's certain that he's onside, and you got to say fair play to him because he was celebrating. He wasn't worried about celebrating. It's a great little header back across the face of the goal to make it 2-2. He gets sent off a little bit later on, a big challenge on Szoboszlai. I think it is a red card or a second yellow card. I think it makes sense. But I thought Moreno was actually decent in the game. Ultimately, Arsenal need a lot more than Moreno up front against Liverpool. It's absolutely ridiculous at this point in the season. Newcastle have got Arsenal and they've got Everton at the end of the season at home. If they get 6 points, obviously they can overtake Arsenal by beating them as well. And if Newcastle were to finish second this season, it'd be a massive testament to Eddie Howe. He'd be up there with Arne Slot, just behind Arne Slot for winning manager of the season, in my honest opinion. Pound for pound, it might be better than Arne Slot, because Arne Slot's got some real, some real experience of winning, titles in that Liverpool side with Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, Trent. Newcastle punching potentially second. It's outrageous. Arsenal could slip to third. I think that'd be a little bit of a flat ending to the season. Coming second 3 years in a row. It is some sort of platform for sustained success, no question about it. Liverpool have got Brighton and Palace. They can no longer get 90 points. Next season's the test, and they'll be favourites in a big, big way. City have got a lot of issues. Arsenal have got a lot of issues. Liverpool will be big favourites to win the Premier League title next season. Mark my words. Ultimately, 89 points, if they get maximum points in the next couple of games, is still a fantastic return in your first season and ultimately winning the Premier League. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And ultimately, Liverpool, was it right for them to be booing Trent Alexander-Arnold? For me, you pay your money, you're allowed to boo. You're allowed to express your feelings. That's what football is all about. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you very, very soon.